let's talk about Assassin's Creed, man.
Assassin's Creed.
Guys, we are T minus less than a week away. We are 5 days away from the most stunning and brave individual to ever grace our shores, known as Yasuke, the Black Samurai. Potentially gay Black Samurai, because remember, people tend to forget that they admitted that there's gay relationships for both characters available in the game. So that should be fun to explore. I mean, as long as it's optional, right?
Damn,
Wink,
that's
wink.
crazy how
Anyway.
Naoi's straight and Yasuke isn't.
Yeah. Wait, no, Naoe, I think, can have gay relationships.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's gay options for both characters.
That was the sarcasm.
Oh. That was really good sarcasm. I didn't pick up on it. There you go.
I'm good at sarcasm.
Hell yeah. So again, we got Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out. A lot of controversy, obviously, surrounding this game, and I think at this point, it's kind of just rip the Band-Aid off and. See what happens from here. What are we thinking is going to go down with Assassin's Creed Shadows? We always do this with the week before every major game release. We do predictions. We talk about what the numbers might be, how close we are to them. What do we think?
Real quick, are Shadows and the new Snow White coming out the same week?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Oh,
shit.
Wow. It comes out the next day.
That I did not realize.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying on Hypnocast the other day. I'm like, bro, content creators from both the movie side of things and the gaming side of things are gonna eat well for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
That will end the suppression, folks. Those two topics, the hottest topics around.
Well, I've never seen a game specifically. Well, maybe Dustborn and Concord, but I think Assassin's Creed Shadows blows both of those out of the water. When it comes to anytime I make a video on it, it's just instant, insane views every single time.
Yeah.
Like people cannot get enough talking about it. It's crazy.
Now, again, let's talk about the numbers. So normally when we look at the followers, even for Dragon Age, I'm trying to think, Dragon Age the Veilguard. Dragon Age the Veilguard had the day before release, I want to say 80-something thousand followers.
Damn.
I think 80-something thousand followers on Steam, which is not, listen, it's not 100% one-to-one for how much it's going to, sell.
Mm-hmm.
But Dragon Age of Veilguard was actually pretty high up there on the wish list and the top sellers list too. It was.
Was it really? Oh, wow.
It was for its first couple of days of being released, then it major dropped. But that's just because of the way the Steam numbers work, right? So top sellers, how that works is that it goes based off of total dollar amount for the day of the week or whatever. So considering it's a brand new game, charging full retail price compared to other games that are all on sale at the same time, especially now where the Steam sale's happening. So if the game comes out, it's a full price game, it's a new game, people are buying it compared to all the other games that are like $5 right now. Yeah, the dollar amount's going to be really high for this game in comparison. So that's how the top sellers list works. So that's why you always see Steam hardware usually up there. I mean, it's also fake, by the way. Steam puts it up there, but that's besides the point. So the wish list, it was also pretty decently high up there, ironically, in wish list too. So I'm just looking at these numbers. And I mean, the game has 30,374 followers right now. It's kind of tapering off, as you can see. It's kind of flatlined a little bit for this for the last day or so. No new followers. It was trending up, and then just flatline. 30,374 followers, and we are 5 days away from release. 45 in the wish list, 21 of the top sellers, 5 days before release. What do we think
about that? 45 on wish list. That is very telling.
Right. Again, 5 days before release.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's not like we're 5 months before release. Like we're 5 days.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Historically, like this, any game from the series would be number one, if not number 2 or number 3. If there's something crazy coming out, number 45.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the first Assassin's Creed in a while. I think since 2019, if I'm not mistaken, where they are actually releasing it across every platform at the same time. Usually they gate-kept it and they put it on Ubisoft Plus first, and then they eventually release it on Steam later on. But since they're so desperate for sales and they realize that's not the smart thing to do, now we're at the point where they're releasing it everywhere.
Which, by the way, that's like a gamers are winning. Like they tried their strategy and it didn't work, so they're now bending the knee to Steam, and it's fucking glorious.
Yeah.
But that always happens, though. I hope you realize that. Like, that always happens where eventually they bend the knee to Steam as much as they try to avoid Steam. You're fucking retarded if you try to sell your game on the PC platform and you avoid Steam. It's just
I think the only exception would be like a Grand Theft Auto 6, like where they could do the Rockstar launcher and people would go download that.
maybe, but you're still missing sales guaranteed. There are diehards out there for Steam. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
that was
yeah, I'm
proven
sure.
with? That was proven with what was it? Was Kingdom Hearts the game that was gate kept on Steam for a year, and then eventually, I'm sorry, it was gate kept on Epic Games, put on Epic Games, and then came out on Steam a year later.
Well, it was
Was it the
Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
No,
Kingdom
Alan
Hearts.
Wake 2 never went on Steam.
No, it was Epic Games. It was gate kept on Epic Games.
No, but there was a game that
Yeah, I think Kurakami's right. I think it was Final Fantasy, not Kingdom Hearts. So they're the first remake.
was it Final Fantasy?
I think it was Final
The
Fantasy remake.
Remake
Yeah.
was on Epic Game Store exclusively for like a year.
That was it. Yep. And then they eventually released it on Steam. Yeah. So they, Steam users, they will wait. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They will
Yep.
wait. They will absolutely wait, and they don't care.
As long as the game comes out good.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So Steve the Link says Kingdom Hearts 3 was gate kept for PC.
Maybe,
I'm
I
talking
don't
about
know.
it was Kingdom
I
Hearts.
I'm not
think-
arguing
I
with
think
you. I'm
it
just saying I
was-
don't know.
Kingdom Hearts 3, I think, was gate kept across all platforms. Like, it did not release on PC until a year later, like Epic or otherwise.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look
Like,
this
could
shit
be
up.
wrong.
It was. I think.
I
Kingdom
was,
Hearts
yeah,
3
yeah.
fucking sucked.
The game was released with all downloadable content included for Windows on March 30th of 2021 via the Epic Game Store. It was released on Steam after 3 years of exclusivity
Oh my
on
god.
June 13th,
Yeah.
2024.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 was gate kept for 3 years on Epic Games,
That's
and
Insane.
crazy.
eventually came out on
So, like-
Steam, and everybody bought it on Steam after that.
That's
People
bananas.
just waited.
That is just bananas.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, wait, my fucking, you guys
That's
are fucking with
insane.
me. I'm like, I remember this. So yeah, no, people will wait. They don't give a fuck, dude. Especially if it's a game that either has controversy or it has already released on another platform. Like, people don't care, man.
Yeah.
And I think they're starting to realize that, because the exclusivity stuff with Epic Games is starting to become less and less. Alan Wake 2 is still exclusive right now to Epic Games, but aside from that, they're really not doing it too much anymore.
They did the same thing with Spider-Man, the 2018 Spider-Man, where that was PlayStation exclusive until they put it on PC, and then it became better.
These devs are realizing that Epic is not gaining as much market share as they
No.
originally thought. Like, when you decide to put your game on Epic Game Store, you're essentially telling the mass majority of the PC player base, like, we don't give a fuck about you. Like,
Yeah,
Dead
yeah,
Island
definitely
2,
legit.
Dead Island 2 was my favorite game of last year. Guess what?
Yeah.
It was Epic Games exclusive in 2023. In my eyes, the game came out in 2024. I wasn't playing that bullshit on.
I would argue
To
you said
be
they're not
fair,
gaining
though-
as much as they think. They're not gaining anything. I'm
No.
surprised
Yeah.
they haven't just backed off completely and been like, fuck it, we tried. It's
To
crazy.
be fair though, Alan Wake was like they have a stake in Alan Wake, Epic Games. So they
Like
have
Alan
it.
Wake, if you will. I
Man,
hate
but
whoever
that-
started the whole pun craze. I wouldn't
That's
have done that
crazy.
otherwise. What's wrong
That's
with y'all?
crazy. That's rough. Not from sheep, man. You guys got sheep doing this shit now too.
I hate I'm gonna jump out a
See what
window after
happens.
this stream. I hate y'all.
No, don't do that.
Hey,
Very
that's
Japanese
diversity. Woohoo!
In
I was
Minecraft.
gonna say, wait till you're married so your wife gets half of your stuff. But
True. That's right. I got to take care of her.
there you go.
Get a good life insurance policy
Exactly.
Oh.
and make it
They're
look like
gonna
an
look at her and
accident.
be like, "Ma'am, did you throw your husband out the window?" Like, no, you don't understand. It was puns. It's
You're like, well, no,
It was
I didn't do
puns.
anything. It's like, well, how did he end up with this? I'm not going to take it that far.
That's hilarious.
Based on the
Like,
data
officer, have
we're
you ever listened to
seeing-
SNH?
Please
Based
don't.
on-
Please don't.
Based on the data we are seeing from SteamDB, it looks like this is going to make Veil Guard look like a success. It's just delaying the inevitable at this point.
Probably.
I'm glad you said that. So, all right, now we know. Would we agree that Assassin's Creed as a franchise, up until recently anyway, was probably in a better place than Dragon Age up until recently?
By a
Oh, yeah.
country mile.
Yeah.
Like you had the game selling banger after banger after banger up until Syndicate, when the series really started falling off,
Yeah.
and you only had like a good Dragon Age game, a not that great Dragon Age game, Inquisition, and then like a whole bunch of nothing in between that, and then here's Dragon Age 4. Like, yeah. Oh, Ubisoft is eating BioWare's lunch at that point when it comes to the two franchises.
So if we know this, then what do we think about these numbers then? Because again, all signs are pointing to not a great release on Steam. Now that doesn't cover console. That doesn't cover their, you already know what they're gonna do. Players engaged. They're gonna do the whole on Ubisoft Plus and all platforms. We had 3 million players engaged, but it's like, okay, but how many sales did you have? Did you actually sell the fucking game? Or did most people play it for free on Ubisoft Plus? Like,
I have no doubt. I personally have no doubt that they'll hit 1 million before in less time than it took for Dragon Age 4 to do it.
I would think that Assassin's Creed and
million?
Ubisoft, I think Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft are going to be more desperate to put out that post of them hitting 1 million sales because they really want to
They need it. They need
own the chuds. And I think that was really clear when Grums got ratioed by the Assassin's Creed account. I mean, they're fucking responding to Grums, bro. Like it's very clear that they're heavily involved in this and they really want to send out the message of like owning the chuds, so to speak. But
it's funny because it's not going to happen. They keep fucking up. This game is like Johnny Somalia video games. It's making worse and worse.
It really is.
I did not expect the numbers to be this low, is what I'm saying. And I know there's people out there that could be like, well, the last 5 days, it'll really shoot up. And I'm like, sure, maybe, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So let's make some estimates. What are we thinking Assassin's Creed Shadows does concurrently? Let's say it's first weekend because that's when the numbers go up, really. So it releases on Thursday, I believe, right? The 20th is a Thursday. So let's say first weekend. What are we thinking concurrent number would be? Steam.
Well, real quick, 28th, doesn't it do the 25th early? You get like if you got DLC already, you get like the 3 days early access. So there'll be people who are playing on the 25th.
Yes, but again, that's why I said the weekend because the weekend.
I'm just saying we'll be able to start tracking earlier than the 28th. It's not going to be. It's obviously going to just be the diehards, the people who have it, in their wish list and whatnot. Just for tracking purposes, I want to make sure that was the case. I wasn't wrong. That you can get 3 days early access or whatever.
Yeah, the budget for this game is astronomical. It really it has to sell a lot of copies for it to like get anywhere close to being breaking even, let alone profiting. And I already know that's not going to happen simply because of Ubisoft Plus. But what are we thinking? Throw some numbers out there.
I'm thinking sub. Oh, go for it.
I was about to say, at least for Steam numbers, I'd play in the safe range, probably about like a couple hundred thousand.
Wait,
A couple hundred
thousand?
A couple hundred.
Do you know what these games do on Steam?
No.
They do trash. Now, granted, a majority of them were released after,
yeah.
But even the ones that were released at the same time didn't do well.
Odyssey all-time peak. I mean, this didn't come out on day one, but 62,069.
I thought Odyssey was the day one.
I thought that came out like months after. So that's day one.
Is that the one that came out in 2019?
It says, yeah, you're right. 6 years, 6.4
Yeah,
years.
that's the one. That's the one.
Damn.
That,
Okay, so that's day one, and they only did 62 on that. That means this one's going to do less than half that.
I would. Well, you know what? I would say just as an amendment. Then, probably I would say at least 120, primarily because of all the controversy surrounding it.
I think
We've
it's fair
learned in
to
the past
say
2 years that controversy does not sell games. Look at Dustborn.
Yeah.
It
but
depends.
it does
It's
sell
Dustborn.
concurrent numbers though. So let me explain that really quick. So it does sell concurrent numbers because Veilguard had pretty decent concurrent numbers, but then fell off after literally just a couple of days because once streamers weren't getting what they wanted from that game anymore, it just fell off. The viewership on Twitch, once all the controversy was satisfied and people realized what was happening, the game fucking died. The Twitch viewership went from, what was it, like 300K, I think at the highest, to fucking like 3,000 after a few days. And the refunds started happening, and that's why it just completely tanked in terms of sales. I think something similar is going to happen with Shadows, where it's going to have a really decent concurrent number because obviously all the drama, all the controversy. But then once that's satisfied and people get their rocks off and they're like, all right, I'm done. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. That's it.
It's out the window faster than me.
It's dead. So with these kind of controversial games, I feel like the concurrent number doesn't necessarily spell success.
Right.
Because the concurrent number for me just shows the hype and the controversy behind it. Whereas other games that don't have the controversy, that don't necessarily have the hype, like Split Fiction, perfect example, right? That game, no controversy for the most part, pretty much under the radar for the most part. It has insane concurrent numbers. That shows me people are actually buying the game, right? Because there was nothing behind it that would fuel that kind of number, except for people being interested in the game from a genuine "I'm gonna buy it" standpoint, which the numbers prove it. I mean, it's already at over 2 million sales, but Shadows, I don't think that's gonna happen. Shadows is gonna have a decent concurrent number, but a overall failed sales metric, in my opinion. But of course, the journalists are all gonna be going crazy like they did with Veilguard. You're gonna have Jason Schreier gonna be like, "Get woke, go to the top of the charts," and he's gonna delete it, fucking disappear after 5 days, and never show his face until the next one where he wants to pretend like the concurrent number, means something for him.
You
so
tend to forget that Schreier exists until he says something.
Well, until he has an insider scoop, pretty much. But with Veilguard, I mean, comparing, Assassin's Creed Shadows to Veilguard, I think it's fair to say Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to definitely hit a way higher all-time peak than Veilguard. I think a fair estimate is to say 120,000 concurrent. I think that it's not going to go past 200,000 concurrent. I think that a lot of gamers are gonna try the game because they see, oh man, like the chopping up shit, like that stuff draws in like general gamers that aren't really paying attention to the controversy. They're gonna see, oh man, I'm beheading motherfuckers. Like, yeah, that's interesting. So I think that they're gonna be invested, and really what's gonna be the deciding factor is a lot of people are gonna watch this game on Twitch to see if it's good or not. And whether if the game is actually fun or whether it's cringy as fuck, we're gonna see whether how people perceive it watching it on these streaming sites.
Let me do mine now. I would guess there is no way it passes 50K concurrent all time.
There's way more PC players now than there ever was Smash.
I understand that.
During the Odyssey days.
Here's my rationality for it. I don't think a lot of people.
His rationale is he wants more 100K view videos when he talks about how much it failed.
No, that too. But I would argue this is actually the primary example of a game made for streamers, where people don't want to participate, purchase, support Ubisoft, but they are curious enough to want to see what it actually entails and stuff. And when they watch it, they're not going to want to buy the game. So it's just going to be people watching streamers streaming it, and then that's it. Kind of like Dustborn.
Keep something in mind for those curious. If they're to be believed, which I don't believe them, but if they are to be believed, Ubisoft has said that Assassin's Creed Shadows is trending in the same manner as Assassin's Creed Odyssey did with the pre-order numbers. So keep that for what it's worth, because if this game did 62K at its all-time peak, which happened basically at release, then if they are tracking, then I gotta imagine that they should at least have this level.
It's
in
not
the bag.
going to pass 50. I'm telling you, it's not going to
pass. All right, what are we betting? What are we betting?
Look, here's the
I don't
thing.
know. Every time I bet you don't hold up your end of the bargain. So I don't know what to do.
Because your idea of betting is to say during the middle of gameplay, "Hey, want to bet on this? Sure, okay, great, thanks," and then not even let me fucking talk.
Oh
and at the end, you're like, "Give me my $10," like a fucking guinea fighting over $10. Look at this guy.
Look, here's the thing. Disregarding the outright disrespect towards Japanese people, the game objectively looks better than Dragon Age to Veilguard. I don't think anyone could sit here and try to dispute that.
That is very true. And
I don't know if it looks better. It looks boring. There's a lot of very slow walking parts. I'm just like, this is not selling me here when I was watching them stream it.
I'm also of the belief that a lot of there are gamers and then there are gamers, and the gamers are the ones that are on the internet and see all of this shit. But you have people like, for example,
gamers, GAYMERS. That's like what.
Fair enough. But like if we're talking about like one of my brothers, for example, they're not as plugged into the internet as I am. So they look at an Assassin's Creed game and they're just like, oh shit, Shadows. Look at this. We're playing as Yasuke, blah, blah, blah. They're not in tune with like the disrespect that the game is that Ubisoft's given, Japan, destroying Torii gates and all this other extra stuff. Like they don't know about that. They're just picking it up because it's an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
All right, now while I would normally agree with you, Sheep, I think it's pretty telling though that it's number 46 on wishlisted, which means that even the Type 2 gamers you're talking about must be knowing something about this shit
Type 2
because
gamers.
otherwise
that
it'd be
was funny.
higher, right? Don't you think
Right.
the casual normie gamers would outweigh the gamers like the rest of us? But even then, this is sitting number 4. It ain't even in the top 20.
Hmm.
46 for a brand new Assassin's Creed game.
I mean, like, but I mean,
kinda
like,
bananas.
the people who wish list are people who are, you know, keeping tabs on the game, as opposed to people who just buy the game because they know it's coming out. Like, they're not looking
fair
for
enough.
all the extra
That's
details. They just
true.
know it's
I
releasing.
do
Fair
put
enough.
stuff in my wish list that I might not buy just because I'm looking for it. I'm waiting to see if it's gonna go on sale or I might be interested in it down the road. That's a good point.
I put shit in my wish list because people tell me about games when I'm drunk and I want to make sure I remember them.
Oh shit!
All right, Hypno, how about this for a bet for you? Ready for this? We'll get this recorded.
Oh lord!
And we'll see if you agree to it. Shadows will not surpass the concurrent players of Odyssey in its lifetime, and we'll give it a month. And winner gets $100 Red Boy from the loser.
Damn.
Well, first you said it won't
Oh.
pass 50. Now you're giving yourself another 12,000.
I'm just saying, $100 Red Boy. Would you?
I just like
I
to.
think the bet should be if it goes under 50, I pay you. If it goes over 50, you pay me.
Well, that's pretty close.
Nah, he likes that. He likes that.
Now
I
you get scared.
think the bet should
Oh
be-
no, brother.
I got to think about it some more. I'm like, it may just squeeze past 50, and I don't feel comfortable making that bet. But I thought about it more. I'm like, it's not going to pass Odyssey. And you were talking like it's going to be way more than this. So I don't know why you're having an issue with this bet here. Like,
Because I didn't put a specific number. You did.
okay, I'm now after thinking
Now
about
you're
it.
changing that number.
I am
God damn,
changing
man.
that number to
Learning
say it
from
will not
Alyssa.
surpass Assassin's Creed Odyssey
Wow.
numbers.
That's crazy.
62,000.
I'm altering the deal. Pray not to alter it further.
Exactly.
Grifting for higher numbers.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I
Eater.
would have agreed at 50-50.
What's
I
that?
just find it.
Wait, hold on, Ryan. Hold on. What'd you say?
I said I would have agreed at 50-50. That's okay.
Wait, so you agree with me? It will not surpass 62,000.
All right, this
No,
guy.
I think it will. I think it will.
Okay, so you want to bet on it?
I mean, let's
No.
Oh
take
god.
this into account, bro. Dragon Age Veilguard, almost 90K concurrent, number 128 in top sellers. This is number 21 in top sellers.
Well, that was the point I was going to make. 3 days before release for Veilguard, it had 85,000 followers on the Steam Hub, and its peak was 89,000. So you could make the same logic for Shadows.
Are we gonna pretend that Veilguard wasn't as bad as it?
No,
Is it
that
actually
was
was?
even
Veilguard
worse.
was pretty
than the
shit.
last.
Veilguard is dog
Yeah.
shit, bro. You don't even need to have, bro. A half-wit can look at that game and be like, yeah, this is fucking retarded looking. This looks like ass. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it could well have a higher player base all-time peak than Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Mhm.
I'll give you.
Veilguard is-
10 I'll give you 10,000 more. Smash.
All right. So
Bill-
60 now?
Yeah, we'll do 60.
Veilguard is the
We're gonna
Current
really split
Doctor
hairs
Who.
over 2,069
Yes,
people
we're gonna
here?
split. We're gonna split hairs. Absolutely.
Did
Come
you
on.
know it's gonna be? It's gonna end up being like 61, and I'm gonna be like, you.
That's not my
Hypno's like, you're
fault.
goddamn right.
That's not my fault. If it's
All
61.
right, fine. That's fair. That's fair.
That's
the
Meet
huge
problem,
halfway, kinda. I'll do that deal. We'll do 60.
Yeah, we'll do 60.
60,000. Under 60,000 the first month. Loser pays the winner $100 Red Boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the concurrent's gonna be determined pretty damn quickly after the first weekend. So
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna go higher than that.
So what's your time frame? Because I don't.
Just
I
give it
don't-
like a week or
I
two.
say,
It comes out on
give
Thursday,
yeah,
right?
give it till the second weekend just to make sure. But I say by the second weekend.
By the
that
second
would be-
weekend, you don't gotta wait a month.
Okay.
yeah, you don't have to wait a month.
It favors me to wait a month, but you don't gotta wait a month.
Well, I was trying to be fair, but yeah. So 60.
Yeah, we'll do 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Well, guys, I
60,
do
okay.
have to depart, but I
Fine.
know
unfortunate.
I'm relatively certain Smash is gonna get fucking smoked on this bet. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Like a-
Well, it should be
like a
like
doobie.
60,001.
I'm gonna agree with Cage.
But it's
Smoke
good
like-
Yo,
hanging
you
out
guys
with you
heard
guys.
this here
Man.
first, really quick, before Cassie leaves. You guys heard this first, right? Over 60,000, he gives me $100. Under 60,000, I give him 100. Assassin's Creed. We gotta find out, who's might be winning in a few days. We'll find out. Anyway,
Looking
Is
forward
that
to
really
it.
the
Cassie, much love to you. Do your outro. Let everybody know.
Hey guys, subscribe to my YouTube channels, Cult Classic Cage and Goonerfist. They both have their independent content, silly shit all around. Definitely check me out there. Also, if you want to watch me shit on fanboys, PlayStation fanboys, go check me out on Twitter as well at Mario Kart. And thank you all so much for having me. It was good having a discussion with y'all, man. Have a great rest of the stream. Peace out.
Later, Cassie.
Bye.
You will. So let's talk about now, since we're talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Real quick, because I didn't give no numbers. I don't know if anybody.
Go ahead. Whoever didn't give numbers, give numbers. What are we thinking?
So I've been sitting here. I've been like really trying to come to a strong conclusion, and I'm saying 120,000. Like obviously roughly maybe 126, 118, basically
Double.
in the ballpark of 120,000.
Damn.
Really? Odyssey numbers.
Here's my reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
There are more black people that want to see themselves than there were trannies that want to see themselves in Veilguard. And I'm not even joking with the amount of black dudes I see on X who actually like Khalif Adams style, like cap for that sort of, we need black.
Bro, you're mixing Khalif up with all the bots.
Point
There
is,
isn't a difference.
I do think that
Right.
because there's more black people than there are trannies, you're going to see higher numbers for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I will. My thought about concurrent players will be around 80,000. Just because there's going to be people that, even though they're disillusioned by Assassin's Creed, they will still buy it because they hope it won't suck.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair. People did that with Dragon Age of Veilguard too. They
Yeah.
were
People
like,
still do that with Pokemon.
Yeah.
they were
Like-
checked out of the Matrix a little bit, and they were like, no, it can't be true. And then they bought it, and they're like, oh my god, I'm trans within an hour. And
Yeah.
That's
basically it.
Yeah.
I might be way
know-
off, but I'm gonna
I've-
say. Oh, go ahead, Sebi. Sorry.
Yeah, I've played every single Assassin's Creed. Like I suffered through one. I've suffered through all of them, and I've still bought every single one, and I hated them. There's many times where I'm like,
suffering turn anyone else on, or is it just anyway?
What?
Of course.
but because of that, I will definitely I will probably play the game, and I have a slight sliver of hope that I know will be crushed. But I've loved Assassin's Creed for so long, even though I've been disappointed for so long with it, that I think that there's still people out there that probably feel the same way that I do, and they probably will request a refund after they try it out.
Yeah.
Who else got numbers? Atreus?
I'm gonna go with 49.
We already know where you're at. You
Holy
placed a bet on it. Atreus, what do you think?
I placed
Atreus
the bet
came
on
back. Where the fuck has he
over
been?
Under. I never gave a
Come on,
number.
Trey.
I never gave a number.
Well, I want to hear Atreus' number because I'm curious.
Okay.
I'd say I'm in agreement with Leon. I think it's going to be about around 110, 150,000.
Really?
Wow.
$120 on this. Double the Odyssey numbers, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed is a normie game, so
Yeah.
I mean, somebody mentioned the refunds. I'm not saying people won't go and ask for refunds, but I think Assassin's Creed is a very normie game, and some people who are upset about Yasuke or whatever the case may be. Well, last I heard, you could play the game without playing as Yasuke at all. I think some people will take that and oh, I don't have to play with the monkey, so they'll just do that.
Of course, the racist joke tickles them.
God damn.
Of course.
Well said, Atreus.
It was just how casual, for whatever. Atreus has said a lot of racist things against black people, but he normally doesn't drop monkey. That's just
That one's just out of nowhere.
No, but I'm saying that from the perspective of the
Of
person who
Japanese.
really
No,
doesn't-
I get what you're saying. Just your tone of voice, how casually since it's not one I hear you say often, it was caught me off guard. It was funny.
That is hilarious. Who else?
All right.
Who didn't give
Can
numbers,
I
man?
just
Yep.
throw my number out there?
Go ahead. Let's see. What do you got?
49,669. We'll go with that.
What the fuck kind of number is that?
It's a random guess.
It's a concurrent number, so
Can I give my number?
Right.
Let me give my number. 49,670.
God,
Oh, Price is Right rules, bitch.
you
Oh,
bastard!
Oh my
You thought you were gonna be one.
Y'all
God.
Y'all are something
One.
else, man. Let me tell you. What the fuck? Who else? Anybody didn't give numbers?
That was
Ryan.
everybody.
Ryan?
Oh damn!
I thought he did.
Man. No,
No.
I didn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it will do under Veilguard's numbers. I'll go with 75,000, and that's best case scenario.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I mean, truthfully, I was thinking like right around the 90, 100K mark. That's what I was thinking. More so 90 than 100K personally. But because I'm trying to gauge this, right? Because I'm trying to think of other games that were popular but didn't have the normie name of Assassin's Creed attached to it.
This is a fascinating use case. Like
it is
really...
because like Metaphor Refantasio, for example,
didn't have the normie.
Like Metaphor Refantasio, I think is pretty fair.
Is it wrong to use? Actually, no. Metaphor is a great one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because
would you say it's a good metaphor?
God damn it!
Damn it! Ah, God, Jesus!
I'm so proud of that one, weren't you?
I was.
See, Kata in the chat says it's played more on console, so Steam numbers don't matter for this game. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I kind of agree with him on that. That's kind of what's played into my hand.
No, it's bullshit. So here's why it's bullshit. Number one, it's played more on consoles because it was available on consoles first. Okay. Number one. That's like the generic answer.
I think it's more of a normie game, so it's
can't play something on PC if it's not available on PC day one, right? If you got to wait a few
Smash,
years.
how many motherfuckers play Breath of the Wild on PC on release day?
Exactly.
How many would play it if it was available? Probably a bunch, but more would play it on console.
Well, that's because they're a trained audience to do that. But
that's
little
what
by
I'm
little,
saying about Assassin's Creed.
Over the past few years, people have become more and more trained to explore the PC platform, which is proven by the exploding numbers of Steam. You know, we're not even just talking strictly Assassin's Creed. We're talking fact that console exclusivity.
We're talking Concord.
Console exclusivity has slowly but surely been dying for the last year or two.
I'd agree with that.
And there is now an audience that used to be trained to do console first for everything, are now becoming PC buyers.
I'd agree with
that. Or PC gamers in general. So that's
one
what
of
I'm
those
thinking.
people.
But I still think
but to add to that, I would say because of all the shoddy PC ports in the last couple of years, not ports, day one releases the last couple of years, a lot of PC gamers have been trained to wait a few weeks so those initial patches are done before they buy it.
That's true too.
Right, but honestly, that's PC in general. A lot of PC gamers, they're a lot more patient. But my thing is, I'm trying to look at this number and say, okay, so in 2019, 62,000 people played this game concurrently. This was with no controversy. This was with millions less PC gamers, or at least Steam users, let's just say. I'm trying to think. The controversy is going to negate some players, but the bigger PC platform now is going to bring in some players. The fact that it's feudal Japan, I think, plays a huge part in it too. There's a lot of people that would want to play in the feudal Japan setting, more so than anything else. So it's a hard call. That's why I'm saying 90 to 100 is probably my number, just because the way more amount of PC players, and not only that, people that would rather play this day one on PC than on console, at least now more than ever. So that's where I think it's going to land.
You should give an exact number in case you hit it. It'd be funny.
I said closer to 90, so let's just say 90,000. That's where I'm thinking.
I was, in regards to my prediction, and I stated this in the chat very briefly, best case scenario, 75,000, but in the back of my head, I really want this fucking project to fail. So minimum, like absolute minimum, I put 35,000. It probably will not reach that.
Nah, dude, I said 35,000 for Dragon Age, and I got fucking rolled.
Yeah.
No, it will hit 35,000.
It'll hit
in the back of my mind, I thought, why don't I just really lowball this like I did with the Marvels? But the Marvels was just a lucky break. So 75,000, I'll stand.
What are you talking about? The Marvels made 132 million worldwide or something like that.
Yeah, I did.
I gave it an estimate of 200 million. It hit 208 million everywhere. Yeah, I was off by 8 million.
Really bad. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I guess we will see what ends up happening. But yeah, at this point, we're 5 days away from one of the most controversial games of all time, ironically. which is crazy because they
And
really
not
didn't-
even for a cool
Mhm.
reason like Duke Nukem being
Yeah.
controversial because there's
Right.
strippers and shit. Like for one of the gayest, sorry, I was game word. One of the gayest reasons. Like,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's one of those things where it's like it didn't even have to be that. Like it genuinely did not have to be that. There's no reason this game should have been controversial. Literally zero. But they chose to
Yep.
go the route that they did, and that's where we're at.
And
So-
it was like a sheer choice out of audacity. Like, we will tell you and direct you what you will eat from our slop. Like, we will put a black samurai because we will look through the whole history books to find this person, and you will play it and enjoy
well,
it. And if you
history
don't, you're a
paperback, let's
bigot.
be real.
Well, you know what's the even worst part about all of this is that they could have easily they could have put Yasuke in the game as a side character, as
Yep.
an
Yeah.
NPC or something like that,
100%.
and nobody would have given a fuck.
Mhm.
That's what he's been for a lot of the time, by the way. A lot of different games.
Yeah,
Like in
Especially
Neo,
made by the Japanese as well.
Yep.
That's what it is. All right. We're gonna catch up on super chats, and then we'll see if we got time to do anything else, but probably not. We'll see.